Let's bring our viewers up to date with this drama for a number of ministers, including the Attorney-General. Where's that at?
So Attorney-General Mark Dreyfus pledged in question time on Thursday to go and examine whether or not he might have contravened Anthony Albanese's new ministerial code of conduct by keeping his investment in a managed fund where there might be significant interest in litigators who had benefited from a government decision.
I can assure members of this House that I have complied at all times with the Code of Conduct for ministers, and it's a very significant matter. That's why I've undertaken to look at the matter that has been raised.
So as we've reported for almost 2 weeks, the ministerial code does not allow ministers to have ordinary shares, and it only allows ministers to have investments in managed funds where the fund or trust does not invest to any significant extent in a business sector that could give rise to a conflict of interest with the minister's public duty. So already Christy McBain and Jed Carney and Tim Ayres have had to sell down their shareholdings after inquiries from Sky News around the ministerial code. Question time lit up on Thursday with the opposition keen to point out that 9% of a litigation firm, Omni Bridgeway, which recently benefited from a decision from Mr Dreyfus, is owned by a fund the attorney invests in, Green Cape Capital. But Mr Dreyfus's office points out this does not mean that it is 9% of Green Cape's investments. The suggestion is it is far less of a percentage. Money Management magazine recently had a top 10 in terms of Green Cape investments, with the 10th company it invests in comprising 2.8% of the fund. And Omni Bridgeway did not make that top 10. So perhaps this example does not have that significant extent qualifier the code requires to find a breach. This perhaps then is different to Assistant Health Minister Jed Carney's position, where she had shares in 4 managed funds with interests in the health sector of 10% or more. Sky News revealed this, and Ms Carney announced she was selling out of the funds. Now, the comment from Mr Dreyfus's office then is this: the Attorney-General has complied with the Code of Conduct for ministers at all times. The Attorney-General has no influence over any of the investments, and his investments are entirely consistent with the ministerial code. Probably the most blatant breach was Christy McBain, the Minister for Local Government, Regional Development and the Territories, who flicked her 7 shareholdings to her husband, then only sold them a fortnight ago when she realised that was a breach as well. You couldn't do that. From the PM's point of view, Ms McBain should not have her career ruined for an oversight, which she has swiftly moved to correct. From the opposition's point of view, why have a code if people are not going to adhere to it? Luckily for the PM, he's never actually owned shares himself, so it's been an easy rule for him to observe, Kieran.